G'day WCR replays, this is D3stroy3r doing another audio commentary. This audio commentary is copyrighted WCR replays for 2007, so don't go stealing it or we'll sell you to Freak. Today I'm doing a commentary covering Undead against Orc, featuring Faculty Sokol as Orc against Raptor HLA as Undead. I'm going to be covering a slightly different and very innovative and map-dependent strategy, which I really liked. This replay is brand spanking new. It's still on the front page as I go to the microphone right now. I really enjoyed watching it, and I hope you'll enjoy it too. Get the replay opened up, pause it at the 2-minute mark from Raptor HLA's point of view, fog of war off, and while you're doing that I'm going to delve into some pre-game things. I wanted, actually I had a few good PMs after my first audio commentary saying, could you perhaps discuss some less readily apparent things which you might not get to hear in other audio commentaries. So, you know, I'm always open for PM suggestions, and that's exactly what I've done. The first thing I want to discuss before we start is the map. The map's Knollwood, which is the largest map in the current ladder pool for both leagues and ladder play, and has 6 spawns. It's a 6-player map. And what this means, in effect, is there's a lot of potential for creeping, and in as few as 3 camps you can actually get level 3 on a hero, and there's also a lot of potential for expanding. Both of these factors mean that you need to scout a lot and you need to harass a lot if you want to stop your opponent from creeping, and that's what Raptor HLA is going to do this game, so I'll discuss it as he does it. He makes excellent use of shades throughout the match. The next important thing is there's a lot of shop access. There are 4 central shops located in sort of a ring around the center of the map, and that means your opponent's going to have ready access to items such as invulnerability pots, scrolls of healing, scrolls of invisibility, town portal scrolls, all the good stuff. And that sort of means that the undead advantage of heal scrolls readily available at your own base is somewhat diminished. The next important thing to discuss, obviously, is whether it's a mana or health fountain, and how does it affect this matchup. Well, a mana fountain is I guess typically considered beneficial to Undead, because it's going to mean a lot more mana for your heroes, which means more nuking, and that's not a bad thing. By the same token, a health fountain is considered advantageous to, say, an Orc army, because their high HP units will heal much faster than your own units around the fountain. It also means a health fountain is also great if you do, say, split ghoul creeping, because you can creep a couple of camps and then use your ghouls to so creep with the ghouls and then heal them at the fountain, which is very good. Or and the Orc player can do that as well. In this matchup, the fountain really doesn't end up making too much of a difference, but in many matchups, for example, Night Elf against Orc or Orc against Undead, it can make a big difference, just not so much in this matchup. So hopefully you've got the replay paused at the 2-minute mark, and I want you to look at Raptor HLA's base. He's actually gone for a Crypt Altar build, which means he's going to have a fairly fast hero and a fairly fast tech. And the reason he's doing this is all about the map. Normally against Orc, you might see as a slower hero, or you might see a Fiend build. The reason he's doing this very specific build is because he knows that Sokol is going to go Blade Master on this map, because that's the current cookie cutter, and he also knows that Sokol is going to use that Blade Master to item creep the map. And what item creeping is, he's going to take his Blade Master, and he's going to run to the nearest shop, and he's going to kill the Gnoll Warden, take the item. He's then going to Windwalk away, go to the next shop, kill the Gnoll Warden, take the item, and continue to do this until he will, if left unchecked, creep out all 4 of the shops and take all 4 of the items. This is a very old, I guess, NC Dude-esque strategy, but if the Blade Master gets some very specific drops, he can become an absolute terror. You really don't want to see a Blade Master with, say, 4 Circlets of Nobility, or 4 Claws of Attack, or 4 Slippers of Agility, or any mix of those items, because he will just become absolutely insane. So knowing this, Raptor HLA is going to go for a fairly quick tech, but also is going to have 3 ghouls in his Death Knight, go to that first shop, kill the first Warden, and then take out the next Warden at the next shop, just to prevent Sokol from getting that early game advantage. And he's also going to attack very quickly, and the reason you can attack quickly on this map is because it's so large. Unless you get a very close spawn, you can really sort of tech uncheck, so it's very hard for your opponent to pressure you. If you look over at Sokol's base, however, you'll notice he's doing a no barracks tech, and his barracks is going up very late. And again, the reason for this is he doesn't really need the early grunts because he's going to be item creeping the shops, so no real need for grunts straight away. He'll get them out later to creep out some greens and get some more advantage for his heroes. And again, he's going to tech very quickly simply because the map does allow you to do that. And with so many expansions on this map, there's no reason the Orc player can't get that quick tier 2, get up his tier 2 army of doom very quickly, pressure the Undead and force that early expansion, because as any Undead player knows, once the Orc player gets that expansion, well, you're in a lot of trouble. So hopefully you've got the replay pause at the 2-minute mark. I've given you ample time. If you haven't, well, pause up the audio commentary, get it synced up, because we're unpausing at the 2-minute mark from Raptor HLA's point of view. Fog of War off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. So as you can see, Raptor HLA just spawning some rally points to get his APM up, but he's just about to get his Death Knight out, and he's just building up those ghouls. So he has gone for that Crypt Altar build. He's going to have a number of ghouls, and as that Death Knight comes out, he's going to grab 3 of them, plus his Rod of Necromancy, and head straight to that shop south of his base, and he's just doing that now. And again, as he gets there, you're going to see he's going to coil that Warden and kill it as quickly as possible and grab the item. His entire early game focus is going to be on creeping the shop nearest to his base, and then the shop south of his base, just to deny Sokol any sort of early game advantage. You'll notice also he grabs a Dust of Appearance from the shop very quickly. This is again simply to mitigate the effects of Blade Master Harass. You don't want the Blade Master running in and chopping your ghouls up very easily, because he will kill them very, very quickly. So he's taking out the shop, doing a very good job. He's already grabbed the Warden. You'll notice he used the Death Coil. Now, a lot of people say, oh, don't use your Death Coil for creeping, it's a waste of mana. I feel you can use a single Death Coil, just the one, because it's going to allow you you're going to regen that mana by the time any harass gets to you realistically. So there's no reason not to just speed up your creeping by a couple of seconds. It's 100 extra damage, which with the ghouls is about 5 seconds faster creeping, which is not a bad thing. Now you notice he also grabbed a Claws of Attack, which means that two of the shops on the map will actually drop Claws of Attack. So if the Blade Master got 2 Claws of Attack and say 2 Slippers of Agility, well, that Blade Master's already doing plus 18 damage. That's just quite insane. You'll notice the Blade Master's just coming in to harass now. Now he's going to try and pick off ghouls. The order of micro to save your ghouls basically is ghouls will do normal damage against the Blade Master, so they can attack him and it's not a big problem. But you only want to use that coil defensively. Just keep those ghouls alive, don't use them, and put all your focus fire on that Blade Master. At level 1, his HP will go down very quickly to your normal attack. Good use of coil there to get the creep to stop the Blade Master from stealing it, and just don't let that Blade Master focus down on your ghouls too much. Just focus him very quickly and put as much damage on him as quickly as you can while using your defensive heal from coil, and that'll really give you a good advantage. You'll notice that both players are already well into their tech. Raptor HLA is almost halfway through his tier 2 tech, which is exactly where he wants to be. He's going to head over to the middle of the map. He's going to notice it's a Fountain of Mana, which, given he's going an Undead Air Force army later in the game, is not a huge advantage. It's fairly meaningless, and I'm not going to really talk about it for the rest of the match. If you look at, there's not too much going on, so if you look at Raptor HLA's base, he's gone for a very defensive build, and you really do want to close off your base against any Orc army. It's very hard for the Orc player to get an army in against his Acolytes. He's really not going to be able to, and in fact he's not even going to try throughout the entirety of the game. If you go back to Raptor HLA's hero, he's getting harassed by this Blade Master, and as you can see, there's really not too much to worry about from just a solo Blade Master, as long as you keep those micro tips in mind. Focus on him with the ghouls as quickly as you can. Don't let him wail on the Death Knight too much, because you don't want your HP to get too low. And really just use that Death Coil defensively to keep your units alive. Otherwise, he's just scouting a little bit. He's got